Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for your usual introduction. Really appreciate. Once again, welcome to all the attendees and associate those who are there in the Zoom meeting. As you know, we are doing on a regular basis every Saturday, 5 o'clock in the evening. Next Saturdays, we are going to talk about the Portugal, and we will have a lawyer from our associate joining from Portugal as well. With respect to the Portugal Residency and Citizenship program by investment and startup programs. All different programs are there. It's one of the top lawyers of Portugal is joining us. So please do join us. Uh, as Vijay mentioned that yes, Ajmera Law Group, we started the immigration practice way back in 1993. So it's almost 27 years. And now we are looking or concentrating more on not on a student visas, but the residency and citizenship by investment. And also in that, we have gone one step further whereby we are also advising the parents if they cannot take the residency and citizenship by investment, then they should make an investment outside India and do the saving outside India rather than in India. So in that one, we assist people to make an investment into a stock market in America, Canada, Europe, London, wherever they want to make an investment. And it could be a very small amount like $1,000 or $2,000 you can start with. You can invest into a global mutual funds, global SIP, we call it a systematic investment plan. You can do it. So basically saving the money over the period of time for your child's foreign education and other expenses which you might be expecting. Apart from the expenses, also the history shows that the return on investment in foreign stock markets and foreign bonds and everything is much higher than an Indian stock market. We also deal into the real estate. So if somebody is interested in buying a property or a land or an agriculture land in America, Canada, European countries, Australia, New Zealand, in all these countries also we help them. Obviously, it goes without saying that if you are in a business and you want to establish your business, particularly if you are in an export of the business or a manufacturing activity and was to establish your business in America or Canada or a European countries, we can do that one as well. Reason we are in a position to do that one, obviously, we have more than 28 years of an experience. And when the big companies are making an investment, say for example, Tata Group or Adani or Reliance out of India, when they make an investment outside India, that investment, obviously, they are not going to move, but they will hire a local people. And based on that, their local people, they will run and manage the company. Whereas in this case, when we are a small and medium-sized businessman, small and medium-sized, I mean, the HNIs and ultra HNIs, when they are making an investment, we are not only have to look at it from the point of view of how you and where you should make an investment, but also from the visa perspective. One of the major questions which I've been asked again and again about is the startup program and startup visa program. That if you are a startup company in India, then how do you take your company out of India to say country like USA or a country like Canada? So today I'm going to speak specifically on the startup visa program of USA first and then Canada. As we all know, the USA startup visa program was introduced for a few months in the year 2016, but then it was immediately cancelled. So as of now, the USA doesn't have a specifically startup visa program, but it does have an L1 visa. And that L1 visa can be very well used by a company who is established in India, who has at least minimum 3 years of an operations. They can use the L1 visa as a startup company. If you are in a business in India for more than 3 years, if you have a revenue, if you are hiring a people, then to enter into US market, you can use the startup visa program, US L1 visa to enter into US market. So how does it work? So it should be an Indian company or a private limited company with operations in the last more than 3 years. Indian company should be a register as a private limited company. Indian company owns the majority of the shares of the American company, either as a subsidiary, branch, or affiliated companies in relationship. And then Indian company can start a new business in USA or buy an existing business or go into a joint venture with the American company. So that's when your Indian company is there. They have incorporated a company in America. And based on that incorporation, if they are the subsidiary company is established in America, based on that one, it can have a relationship of subsidiary or a branch or an affiliated company. And then the US company will file a petition in USA whereby they will, why do I don't see the pictures? Can you see my picture? Okay.
Prashant bhai, can we have full screen mode, please?
Yeah,
the
sure.
presentation is very small.
Yeah.
So for the benefit of all, thank you.
Thank you. So we are, so company must be an office in USA, shows his business plan for 12 months. They should have a number of people what they are going to hire. And based on that 12 months operations, how the finance will come into this one. And based on that, you can have the Indian company will finance and make an investment from a parent company from India to America. There is no minimum requirement is there, but if there is any startup company or an IT company is there, and if they wish to establish or relocate to Canada, America, they can use very well an L1 visa, and based on that one, they can L1 visa can be converted into, first it can be extended and then it can be converted into a green card. So then the US company will file a petition to allow the US company that they will say that we wish to hire Mr. So-and-so who is in India to run and manage our American company as a country head or a CEO. And that would be your L1 visa petition. If you are already in America on a visitor visa or a tourist visa, that petition can be filed within USA as well, and you can apply for an adjustment of status as well. The kind of people who can be transferred or who can go would be an Indian executive or a manager or a technical person who can be transferred from India to America under the L1 visa. So if you are a startup company and under the startup companies, you are 2 founders or 3 founders are there, probably you have 1 or 2 persons who are technical person who are aware of your product or services, what you are selling, then it can be transferred under the L1 visa. Depending on the size of the company, there is no limit that in one L1 company or in one company you can do only one L1. It can be n number of L1 can be done in the same company if the company is big enough. Like if I give you an example of Tata Consultancy Services or Infosys, those companies are having a blanket L1 visa permit, which can be run into almost 30, 50 or 100 L1 at a time, because they give a very comprehensive plan. And based on that comprehensive plan, they can decide, they can apply for the permissions and obtain the permission from the US government. Petition to call or transfer is approved by the USAI in USA. So once this petition is filed and it is approved, then if the executive or a technical person, if he's already in America, he can apply for an adjustment of status. If he is not in America, then he can apply at the consulate in Mumbai or in India, wherever his nearby consulate is. And with that visa stamping, he can travel on an L1 visa. Generally, it is given initially for a period of 1 year, and then it can be extended for another 3 years, and then it can be extended for another three years. So altogether, you can have it for 7 years. But generally, by 3rd or 4th year, the businessman or an executive who has been transferred will start applying for the citizenship, means of the green card of America. So the same company will sponsor him and will say that we like this person and his requirement is now on a permanent basis and we wish to have him on a permanent basis. Once that petition is approved, you obtain your green card. Once you have your green card, you are entitled to the citizenship. Obviously, the wife and children under the age of 21 can join. If you are not an owner of the company in India, and if you are just working for a company, then also it is possible, provided that you are working for a company in India for a period of 1 year, the day before you make an application for the L1 visa. So you should be working for an Indian company for a period of 1 year in the last 3 years to obtain the L1 visa. L1 visa is also known as an intra-company transfer visa, but it can be very well used by the startup company to relocate to or enter into an American market. This is obviously a non-immigrant visa and available, as I mentioned, for a period of 7 years. And you have two options. Actually, you can apply for under the converting the L1 visa into a green card, or if there is a bigger investment you are making or bigger business you are doing it, then you can obtain for a green card under the EB1C class, which is known as a merger and acquisition. So this is basically in short about the L1 visa, or which can be used by the startup company of India to enter into an American market. They don't have a specific program. And all these things depends on the business plan, what you have made for the government of America. That what is your plan? What are you going to do business? What are your 1 year of a plan or 3 years of plan? What is your expenditures? From where you're going to get the money? Once you establish, then how are you going to get the business? Who are your targeted audiences or a customer is? And based on that one, the petition for L1 visa is approved. So this was about the America. Now we're going to talk about the startup visa of Canada, which has become the most popular program in Canada. For reason being that as Canada has always remained the innovation in when it comes to the visa category. So if you look at the any program in the world, the first country to come up with the visa program is always going to be Canada. Whether it's a skilled worker category, whether it's a business entrepreneur category, investor category, startup visa, it's always started by the Canada, and then the other countries has followed up. So the Canadian government come up with the startup visa in 2013. When they started the 2013, there was not much demand of these programs. But now it has become the most popular because the basic requirement of the program is very simple and straightforward, and it can be used by any businessman or an investors. So the criteria of meeting under the startup visa is quite big. So first of all, when you are applying for a startup visa, you should have a new business idea or a new technology. Obviously, if you have a background, but if you don't have a new idea or a new technologies, we obviously have the consulting company with whom we work in Canada, and we will come up with the ideas and the technology for you to present it to the government approved incubation centers. At the moment, the quota is about 2,750 per year. Till date, it hasn't been full up, but probably in the next 2 years, it will be fill up. When you are applying for the startup visa program of Canada, 5% can be included in this one. That means the founder, because as you know that when you start your company as a startup, obviously you have a one or two of your friends. One could be from the technical backgrounds, or two could be from technical backgrounds. One could be from the finance or marketing side. That could be a one person who could be making an investment into your business. And you are coming up with ideas and you are taking it forward, right? So the government of Canada allows you up to the 5 family or the 5 applicants with the spouse and children to come under the one business idea. So the 5 founders or 5 persons per business proposal can be done. it should be outside the Quebec because Quebec has its own startup visa program. The criteria remains the same, but the authorities are different. Language requirement is only 5 band in IELTS, but it is must. No education requirement. It used to be an education requirement all 12th pass, but now that education requirement is no more there. But also you should have a minimum fund to settle in Canada. The minimum fund, that means when you go initially, and obviously you have a new business ideas which has been approved and so on and so forth, but you may not have immediately income and you do not become a dependent on the government fund, and that's why the government wants you to come up with a minimum fund, which is generally the money good enough to survive for at least 6 months period of time, which is about between $17,000 to $20,000. Now, how the steps goes and what are the requirements? When you have a new idea or a new technologies, you are placing your applications, either the government operated business incubation centers or accelerators, or you are pitching your idea or a business to an angel investor who is going to invest $75,000 in your business idea, or you are going to present your idea to the $200,000 with the venture capital firm in Canada. If they are approved or if they like your ideas, any of these three authorities or three government approved three entity, number 1, 2, and 3, what I mentioned here, then they will come up with their term sheets or the terms and conditions. And based on that one, the 5 people in that applications or in that ideas, up to 5 people can be included. So they will decide whatever will be the terms and conditions of the acceptance. Once that you agree to that one, and once you have gone through your training and everything, then the letter of support is issued to you and commitment certificate is given to the government of Canada. So letter of support is given to you as an applicant, and the commitment certificate is given by this organization to the government of Canada Immigration Department that if Mr. So-and-so comes to Canada, we will support them. This is our commitment in establishing their business into Canada. Obviously, you immigrate to Canada. There is no condition attached with your spouse or with your wife and children under the age of 22. So these are the basic requirement is there. There is no fund requirement. The fund which we shown here, 75,000 or 200,000, is the fund coming from the Canadian government approved organization to invest into your business. So they are making an investment into your business. You are not making any investment into this one. If there are more people are going to be, then applicant must hold at least 10% and more in the business. So he should be an owner of the business. And other individual or company cannot hold more than 50% of the except the participating entity. So you cannot sell your shares in the company to other people where they might be holding a majority of the share and you are having only a small shares. You need to have a 51%, 50% and more. Peer review and syndication and substitute evaluation is for the incubation centers. So let me look at it, how the process follow, just to give you a better idea how the process will follow.
Hey, Prashant.
Yes.
Yeah, I do have one question regarding the angel investment. So suppose if I just want to invest 75,000 Canadian dollar into any running organization into the Canada. So will it be eligible for me or not? Or
no, of course not, sir. It's the other way around.
Okay.
You should be a government approved angel investor in Canada. And then you are making an investment into an Indian business. It's not 75,000 you are making. I just explained it. That you are not making an investment of 75,000 or you are not making an investment of $200,000. Is the government approved angel investors company in Canada is making an investment into your business. or they have agreed to make an investment that if you come to Canada, we will make an investment into that one.
Okay, thank you.
So the first thing is the meeting between our law firm and a client. We need to understand the client's profile. What is their background? What is their education? What kind of work experience they have it? What kind of business experience they have it? Management experience they have it? Financial experience they have it? It's very important to understand. Then obviously if you do not have a business ideas, or if you have a business ideas, obviously we have to redefine the ideas, make an applications and a business plan. SWOT analysis is being done. A business presentation is prepared. A demo of your product or services, what you're going to develop, is being prepared. A website is prepared. So as if you are a proper company, if you have not done all these things, we have to do all this preparation before we go to the incubation center or government approved one of the organizations. And before that also, there's going to be an extensive interview coaching. So when you talk to them as a startup owner or a founder, those incubation center will accept your business idea. And obviously they want to see that you are a committed and experienced businessman, and you have these new ideas, you have done a due diligence, you have made your business plan, you know the Canadian market, and based on that one, you have a reasonably good chance of becoming a successful businessman in Canada. So once all the plan and your idea, product, websites, and everything is ready, then the co-presentations or introduction is done to the 3 organizations. So that means we are helping you to take your business plan either to the business incubation center or to the angel investors or to the venture capital. Most of the time, it is going to be business incubator, because it's much easier to get the project accepted, because there is no investment they have to do it, but you have done a commitment with them that you will be with them for a period of 2 years. So once it is presented, and then the incubation center or the angel investor or venture capital will invited by designated organization. So then you will receive an invitation that yes, we like your business idea, we like your business plan, we like your marketing efforts, what you've done it. We know your expertise, we know your qualifications, and what is your idea about the startup visa, startup product or services you wish to develop. And based on that one, they will now start doing the review with you. They will also provide you a minimum 2 weeks of training, networking, development, testing, and prototype. So now you are going into even more further advanced stage of preparing and making your company ready. That means when you come to Canada, you will be a successful startup company in Canada. And that's why they've specifically designed this program to train the businessmen who are coming from abroad. Obviously, they do not have an idea how to do the business, what are the rules and regulations, what are the taxations are there, what are the labor laws are there, where do you go and market these products, how do you do it, how do you do the research in Canada, anything and everything is what you need to know about doing the business in Canada is given a very extensive training in this 2 weeks period of time and over the period of time. Once you have done it and you have passed through your training, you received a letter of support. And that letter of support is basically allows you to make an application for permanent immigration. So the government of Canada has made this program in a way that they realized from their past experience that when the businessmen are coming to Canada, they are not very, very experienced. They have a language problem. They are very successful in their home country. But when they come to Canada, they are facing the difficulty. They used to have a 1 day of or a half a day of orientations. But that training was not good enough. So when the government of Canada designed this startup visa program, they make sure that every businessman, before they accept them in immigration, they have gone through this extensive training with the incubation centers, because the idea of this business incubation center is to provide you a support, because you are a startup or a small and medium-sized enterprise coming to Canada. Obviously, you do not have a lot of money. Obviously, you may not have a very big experience. Obviously, you're not going to hire the top talent within Canada immediately, but you can be a very successful businessman, provided as a Canadian government, we provide you a support, and that support could be in every aspect. As if you are a Canadian company, for 2 years, we will train you, we will nurture you, we will show you every path to become a successful businessman or an entrepreneur in Canada. Because we want, when you come to Canada as a startup, as a businessman or as an entrepreneur, we do not want you to fail. And for a reason we want to do that one, because if you fail, then you're going to go back and tell 10 of your friends or hundreds of your friends, don't come to Canada. It's a lousy country. It's failure. I lost all my money. And I have seen in the past as well, 25 years back when we started the practice, we used to do these entrepreneur programs. There was no government support was there. People were running around by themselves and trying to do it, but they were not successful because the government support was not there. They were treated as an outside company. But the government realized that the small and medium-sized businessmen, startup companies, when they come to Canada, they need a lot of support. We should treat them as a Canadian company. We should treat them as one of us. And all the resources, what are available with the Canadian government, provincial government, the local municipalities, local city councils, should be available to the Canadian to this startup company founders and their investors and their family as well. So with this letter of support, you make an application to the government of Canada. But if there is a longer period of time, and if you wish to come immediately to Canada, you can apply for a work permit. Obviously, you will require your regular documents. Plus, on the left-hand side, you saw the police certificates, medical exams, language test results, and bank balance is the minimum requirement. You have it apart from your business idea, business plan, and training, what we just discussed. And then we make a permanent resident visa application under the startup visa program, and that gives you a permanent immigration of Canada. So if you do not wish to take a work permit, when you get your permanent immigrations, when you are in India, you are flying to Canada directly on permanent immigration of Canada. For you, for your wife and children under the age of 22. Obviously, once you are permanent residents, now what happens to your business? Obviously, say for example, you are accepted by the incubation center, and that incubation centers will nurture you or will host you for a period of 1 year to up to 2 years, depending on the agreements they've signed. So you will get a free office with them, free office, office space, furniture, fully furnished, state of the art, and you can develop your product, you can develop your software or whatever you are developing, you can continue doing that. After a 1 year or 2 years time, when you are ready and when you believe that, okay, now I can be on my own, you can leave this incubation center and have your own permanent office and continue with your business, and you do it. Suppose, for example, this business, what you started after 2 years or 3 years, it didn't become a successful business. If it hasn't become a successful business, then also Government of Canada says that it's fine. There is no need. We are not going to take any action against you, and we are not going to take away your permanent residency. And you and your family can continue to stay in Canada on a permanent immigration basis. From the day of your first arrival in Canada, after 3 years, you can apply for the citizenship of Canada. Once you are a Canadian citizen, you can enter into USA and you can go on a E1, E2 visa and apply for that one, and or establish your business in America under the NAFTA agreement as well. If you are a permanent resident and if you wish to do not take the citizenship, then you will be required to stay at least period of 2 years in a 4 years period of time to a 5 years period of time to maintain your permanent residency. So this is the basic process about the startup visa program. We are connected and associated directly with this government approved business incubation centers and the angel investors and venture capital, all the three together. They are one of the award-winning organization in Canada and globally. They have approached us and they are interested in the Indian businessman and an entrepreneur who are interested in coming to Canada. And once again, as I said, that either you have your startup ideas, we can review that idea, and if we approve that ideas, then we will take that idea forward. If that idea is not viable, or if we think that it's not going to be successful, we will help you to come up with an idea based on which you can obtain the acceptance from the incubation centers, and then a training, and after the training, letter of support will end up the unconditional permanent immigration to Canada. So thank you very much, guys. I just stopped sharing this slide, and now if you have any questions, you can ask me in Gujarati, Hindi, or English.
Prashant sir, hi. This is Halim from Bangalore.
Yes.
Sir, I have a question. The question is that you said that there will be a 2 years hand-holding program with the incubation center is going to extend to the applicant, during which they will train you and they will make you abreast with the Canadian laws and everything and how to do business.
Sure.
So this will be an online course, or it will be
physical?
So I will have to after I get the approval from the incubation center, I have to go down to Canada and start this program.
Absolutely. It's not a program. So, basically, it's just like what we have an incubation center in India, that you rent a space, a co-working space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, this incubation center is asking you to relocate to Canada. Once you relocate, you will be relocating into their common co-working space. You will be stationed there, and that's where they will do the 2 weeks training. And after that, you will be sitting there in their incubation centers, minimum period of 1 year, maximum up to 2 years time.
Okay, but this is still at this point of this stage, the business has still not started. It is still in the developing stage.
See, whether they're going to accept it or not, that is to be seen, right?
No, what I mean to say, suppose they accept a plan which I propose,